Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the JetBase series, a mix of Jetpack Compose and Firebase. In the previous CRUD series, we learned how to store, display, update, and delete images in Firebase Cloud Storage. Now in this series, we will learn how to store, display, update, and delete videos in Firebase Cloud Storage. The process is pretty much similar, but you have to keep in mind that we are uploading videos, which means big storage, too much wait time, and a video player. Again, we will divide the project into 4 parts: create, read, update, and delete. This is our create video where we will only store the video in Firebase Cloud Storage. First, let me show you the demo. This is what it looks like. I have given it a YouTube kind of a layout. We have 3 videos here as well as here in the database. You can play them and pause them. I'll add a new video from the gallery and there you go. We have our 4th video here. Refresh the database and it's here as well. I can update the video by replacing it with another from the gallery. And look, it's updated. Refresh the database and see. I can also delete the video by clicking on this delete icon. And it's gone from here as well as here from the database. Looks cool, right? Now let's create it. Open Android Studio, create a Jetpack Compose project, name it My YouTube App, and click on Finish. Let's set up the Firebase. Open Tools, Firebase, choose Cloud Storage, and click on Get Started with Cloud Storage. Then click on Connect to Firebase. It will open the Firebase console automatically. I'll keep the name as it is. Follow the steps as shown on the screen. And then in the project, choose Cloud Storage. The cloud storage requires a premium account of Firebase, which is Blaze. Currently, I am using Firebase Spark, which is a free account. Now, you do not have to spend any money. You just need to upgrade your account as shown. To use the Blaze account, we also need a cloud billing account. I already have one, so I'll just use that one. Also, while creating a billing account, it will ask for autopay of 15,000. But don't worry, it won't cut your money at all. It's just formalities. Once you have a billing account, link it with your Firebase. And there you go. See, it says pay as you go. So it will charge you money only if you use their premium service or anything above the limit. After the project is done, cancel the autopay. Simple. Now click on Get Started. Choose the server location, start in test mode, and done. Our cloud storage is set up. This is where the videos will be stored. Now come back to Android Studio, click on Add Dependencies, Accept Changes, and done. Then go to Gradle, add these 6 dependencies. I'll mention them in the description box so you can copy and paste from there. These are for Firebase, ViewModel, and ExoPlayer. Like how we had coil dependency for images, likewise we have ExoPlayer as a playback media player for our videos. With the help of ExoPlayer, we can play and pause the video. Now click on Sync Now. Next, create a data class, VideoData. We need a way to keep track of each video we upload. That's where VideoData comes in. It's a simple data class that stores 3 important things: the video's URL, its name, and its storage path. The video URL is the link Firebase gives us after uploading, which helps us to play the video in ExoPlayer. The video name is the file name of the video, which we use for naming and uniqueness. And the storage path is Firebase internal location of the video file. This is what we use when we want to delete or update the video later. Next, we need a helper class. You know what a helper class is? It's like a repository that contains all the reusable operations or tasks that will help you to use the same code multiple times. So we created a Firebase storage helper that will help us with all the 4 operations that we need to perform, like upload video, fetch video, update video, and delete video. It's like I will write the code logic here and then we can use the function anywhere in the project. Isn't that helpful? Hence, I'll initialize Firebase storage, whose child is the videos folder. Like all the videos will be stored inside this videos folder. As we are only storing the video, I'll write the logic only for upload video function. This upload video function is a suspend function, meaning it runs asynchronously and it is safe to use with long running tasks like uploads. It takes two parameters, URI, which is the location of the video file selected by the user, and the context. The function first extracts or generates a file name from the URI, last part segment, dot splits, dot slash current time to ensure the video has a unique name. Then it creates a Firebase storage reference using the video file name that we just created. Then uploads the file using put file URI.await. After the upload completes, it retrieves the video's download URL, which is needed to play the video later. Finally, it returns a VideoData object containing the video URL, the file name, and the storage path in Firebase. Then at the end, it is returning video data, hence call it here as well. Next, once we have all of it, it's time to add the video to the list using a view model. So create a VideoViewModel class that initializes the view model, obviously. This VideoViewModel class manages the list of videos in the app. It uses mutable stateof to create a variable called VideoList, which holds a list of video data objects starting as an empty list. Add the imports. So whenever video list changes, the UI will automatically update to reflect the new data. But what is this private set? It means that the only video view model itself is allowed to change the value of video list. Other class can read it, observe it, but can't modify it. Then we will create add video function, which is used to add a new video to the list. It takes a video data object as an input and appends it to the existing list using video list is equal to video list plus video, which creates a new list with the added video. In simple words, we already have a video list, we add a new video to the list, and now the list becomes the updated video list with the new added video. Simple? Now, we have the logic to store the video in Firebase. Next, we need to write the code to add a video from the gallery. Okay? Hence, create a first screen which is DisplayVideoScreen. Make it a composable function and call VideoViewModel here because that's where our core logic is. Also, this is where we will display all our videos, but not today, obviously. And also, this is where we will add a floating action button through which the user can add the video from the gallery. So first, create a context variable. Then we will create a launcher that will let the user pick a video from the gallery using remember launcher for activity result with the get content contract, which allows the user to pick a video from their device. When a video is selected, that is URI is not null, the code inside the brackets is triggered. Inside it, we launch a coroutine in the view model scope to handle the upload asynchronously. The selected video URI is passed to the upload video function from FirebaseStorageHelper, which uploads the file to the Firebase and returns a video data object which includes URL, name, and path of the video. Finally, that video is added to the list using ViewModel.addVideo, the video, which updates the UI or the list with the new video. Then we create a scaffold which consists of a floating action button whose on-click will open the video gallery using the launcher. I have specified the file type as video. Next, keep the floating action button color as red and the icon as add with content description as add video. Temporarily, I'll set the padding using daisy column and we will write the complete code to display the video in the next video. Lastly, we have only one screen, hence no navigation is required. We will simply add display video screen in our main activity. First, remove the default code. Inside the set content, we have material theme and surface with fill max size. Then the display video screen as our first screen. And that's it. I forgot to initialize view model in display video screen. Let's correct that. And then now let's run the app and check. This is our display video screen, which is obviously empty because we have not yet written code for it. And so is our database. But we did write the code for the floating action button, so click on it. It opens the video gallery. I'll select a video. See, it's a very small app, so try selecting a video under 10 seconds. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time to load. And look, our video is successfully stored in the database. Great! In the next video, we will fetch these videos and display them using lazy column. Okay? So yeah, that's it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel and I'll see you in the next video.